The story begins in a residential area of Brooklyn. The boy and his friend run to the containers, where two guys are waiting for them with a gun. They approach the basketball court, and the young hero is offered to shoot at one of the players. He starts shooting, but fortunately no one was injured. Everyone is running away. The boy throws away the gun and runs away. After returning home, he calmly drinks soda, watches TV, and then goes to feed his pigeons, which he keeps in a makeshift cage right in the room. Later, this guy had multiple police records for drunkenness, hooliganism, fighting, theft, and robbery, which led to a sentence and referral to a New York children's colony. A few years later, young coaches Teddy and Kevin ask their elderly colleague, who raised champions, to take a look at a new 14-year-old guy with 40 arrests on his account. The coach, shocked by the number of violations, more than Al Capone's, nevertheless agrees. He sees a physically strong teenager with an incredibly powerful punch, but without technique. When asked what the guy was fed, the coach jokingly replies, "Coke and steroids." An elderly coach, Cus D'Amato, finds out the guy's full name is Mike Tyson. Cus picks Mike up from juvie, and Mike will live with him from now on. Cus introduces him to Camille, the owner of the house, who is not too happy about the new tenant, but agrees to an additional $200 for his maintenance. Cus shows Mike the room and sets the only rule: cleanliness. In anger, Cus warns Mike to never eat his ice cream. Mike begins a strict sports regimen, getting up at 4 a.m., jogging, and intense workouts. Cus sets him up for victory using motivational parables and videos of great boxers, including Muhammad Ali. Mike studies every move. Cus suggests to Mike that the main thing is not only strength, but also attitude. Rocky Marciano did not know what defeat was. This concept simply did not fit into his brain. Cus makes the goal of becoming a champion the only meaning of Mike's life. Mike works out a unique technique, focusing on speed, tactics, constant movement, and deceiving the opponent. During this time, he adapts to his new family. He celebrates his birthday and even secretly eats Cus's ice cream without getting caught. Mike finds out about his mother's death. He goes to Brooklyn for the funeral, visits his pigeons, takes them with him, and returns to Cus. As a support, Cus gives Mike a pendant given to him by Muhammad Ali and sets him up to participate in the Youth Olympics. In 1982, in Colorado, at his first competition, Mike, despite his strong excitement, goes out to fight with the support of Teddy Atlas. He only has 8 seconds to knock out his opponent. When Cus hears about the victory, he first thinks it's 8 rounds and gets excited about the 8 seconds. The bounty hunters are starting to swirl around Mike. Cus orders Teddy not to let Mike talk to anyone and to take him home immediately. Cus decides to adopt Mike, as he no longer has a mother. Mike agrees and is happy to call Camille Mom. Managers Jimmy Jacobs and Bill Clayton, whom Cus trusts, discuss Mike. Cus predicts him a heavyweight championship and a place in the Hall of Fame. During a trip with a friend, Mike sees 2 girls and tries to get to know them. The girls run away. Mike mistakenly believes that they ran into the store. The saleswoman calls the police. Mike smashes the window in a rage. A friend pulls him out by force and they escape from the police sirens. Mike starts skipping workouts for 3 to 4 days, which is becoming a habit. Cus, confident of his future championship, remains calm. Teddy complains that Mike sleeps with all the women in the neighborhood. The situation escalates when Teddy's younger sister Jamie claims that Mike harassed her. Teddy, full of anger, meets Mike returning with a gun. Mike scoffs and says he's not afraid until Teddy shoots a tree at his head level. After this incident, Cus expels Teddy Atlas from the camp. Kevin Rooney becomes the new coach. Mike continues to win victory after victory, knocking out his opponents. They're writing about him in the newspapers, and a world tour is starting. During one of the fights, Cus gets sick and is hospitalized. Mike is in the hospital begging him not to die. Cus instructs him to fight and promises to return from the realm of the dead if Mike messes up. After Cass's death, Mike releases his pigeons into the wild. He grieves and asks Jimmy what Cass sees in him. Jimmy replies, bravery and huge fists. In Las Vegas in 1986, Mike goes to fight against Trevor Berbick for the world heavyweight title. Mike, who is only 20 years old, is taking revenge on Berbick for being tough in his farewell match with Muhammad Ali. On that day, Mike becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. Mike, who has already become aggressive, quarrels with Kevin Rooney and hits him when he tries to turn off the TV. On TV, Mike sees socialite Robin Givens and tells Jimmy that he wants to fall in love and have children. He hardly dares to call her. Robin arrives for his fight against Tucker. Mike misses a lot during the fight. During the break, Kevin motivates him by saying that Robin only needs a victory and a champion, and that if he loses, she will leave with someone else. This enrages Mike, and he wins with renewed fury. Soon, Mike and Robin get married. Mike calls Camille and informs her that Robin is pregnant, 3 months. After the death of Cass's partner, Jimmy Jacobs, from leukemia, at the funeral, manager Bill Clayton complains that Robin immediately came to the office to take over all her husband's financial affairs. Don King, a shrewd promoter, appears at the airport. He purposely delays Mike's limo and invites him to his place. King immediately questions Mike's trust in Bill and his 30% commission, offering Mike 5 easy fights for $5 million each. At the funeral, Mike tells Bill that he refused King's offer, but tearfully admits that with the advent of money, those whom he trusted leave his life. Robin is increasingly interfering in finances, pushing Bill aside. Don King manipulates the topic of slavery in the press, calling Bill and Mike's relationship a white master and black slave relationship. Robin, whom King calls a ruthless snake, also turns Mike against Bill. Eventually, after a series of manipulations, Don King becomes Mike Tyson's manager. Mike soon finds out that Robin had a miscarriage. Depressed, Tyson is late for training. Kevin, trying to get him to work, angrily declares that Robin divorced him with pregnancy. Mike breaks down, brutally beats up the sparring partner, and demands the next fighter, giving him a 10-second head start, after which he begins to destroy him. In Atlantic City in 1988, Mike goes out to fight Michael Spinks with rage, motivated by Cass and Jimmy. Mike wins by knockout and becomes invincible. In a joint interview at her mansion, Robin unexpectedly declares to everyone that Mike suffers from manic-depressive psychosis, and living with him is the worst thing she could imagine. She accuses him of regular beatings. Mike then throws Robin and her mother out of the house in a rage. Robin files for divorce, continuing to give interviews about beatings and threats. Mike starts spending a lot of time in clubs. Near one of them, he is provoked by Mitch Green, whom Mike had previously defeated. Mitch insults him and Robin. Mike hits him with a right cross, gets in the car, and drives away. In Tokyo, on the eve of the fight with Buster Douglas, Mike, at the insistence of Don King, fires all his successful coaches, including Kevin Rooney. In battle, Douglas dominates. In the 8th round, Tyson knocks him down, but due to a referee error, the countdown lasted 12 seconds instead of 10, Douglas manages to get up. Mike Tyson suffers his first career knockout loss in the 10th round. After that, Mike meets contestant Desiree Washington in Indianapolis. After inviting her to the hotel, Mike takes her to his room, although Desiree was expecting a social party. A few days later, Mike Tyson was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison for rape.